11 this Tuesday morning. We're Tuesday, November the 16th. It's a cracking day here in London. 1 o'clock, Simon, I'm going to take you for a walk here down by London
very
Bridge.
Nice. Thank you.
Beautiful here today. Hope it's good wherever you're listening all around the UK. We make no apology for the serious tone this morning because we are centering our observations on what is going on in the world of cricket. Azeem Rafiq has been giving evidence. In fact, his evidence has just finished. He has moved on. I'll bring you up to date with what's going on at the moment at the DCMS committee hearing here in London. Rafiq has been giving evidence to MPs over the investigation that he's been central to involving institutional racism at Yorkshire County Cricket Club. And there have been a few explosive revelations and moments of real controversy coming out of the hearing this morning. He has moved on. I think he was meant to be in front of the committee about 3/4 of an hour. He was damn near 2 hours in front of them. And now they are taking evidence from Roger Hutton, who resigned from his role as Yorkshire chairman last week. Tom Harrison, the ECB chief executive, is on the way as well. So Roger Hutton in front of the committee as we speak at this time. Simon is with me here in studio. We're also, of course, joined this morning throughout the show by 2005 Ashes winner and former Yorkshire Durham fast bowler Steve Harmison. And at the moment, we're hearing from a colleague of mine, cricket and sports journalist Mark Machado, who I kind of loaded it there, Mark, that you would stay with us, and you very kindly have done so, mate. At the same time, I presume you're still trying to keep across events at the DCMS hearing, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to follow the text on the internet. So I might not be. I'll have to go back and watch the beginning of Roger Hutton's testimony again, I'd imagine.
But Mark, thank you for this, because your input here is vital as we continue in our objective to get balance out of what is going on in this committee hearing. And Simon, when you consider yourself what you've been hearing, what you've been watching, because we're getting a live feed from the parliamentary hearing as well. Your take at the moment, you're trying to be as objective as you can be.
Yeah, I'm trying to ask questions because I think ultimately that's the big part of this, is not just allow people to make statements, to question the statements, not because you disbelieve them, but to make sure that the statements are where they are and where they need to be. And one of the things I wanted to ask Mark, as a British Asian, as a former owner of an English Premier League football club in Football Differently, the suggestion that representation or the lack of representation, and one of the drivers for that might be racism, I'm slightly confused by, Mark, because you talked about representation, because I remember very clearly, first of all, I owned a football club that was hugely multi-ethnic and had a community of supporters and players and participants that were very much from the multi-ethnic background. But I remember Michael Chopra coming through at Newcastle United, and I remember Sir John Hall, was a close friend of mine, and Freddie Shepherd, being absolutely ecstatic that they felt that they'd broken a particular ceiling of having a British Asian player, and they thought that was the first coming of Asian players, British Asian players, into the game, but it's never happened. And you've got representation in football with of the black community, but very little representation from the Asian community. And I wondered what your take on that was, because I didn't see that as racism or any shape or form of denying the opportunity, but yet you still don't have representation in football from the Asian community.
Yeah, look, for someone like myself, it's a great shame. I'd love it if England's next Harry Kane came from an Asian background, right? The two things that I think make it kind of stand out a bit from the cricket situation, though, is that firstly, I think, as you all know, Simon, to get to the elite level of football is really tough. There is a number of Asians who play football kind of lower down the league, nowhere near enough, and we should be doing more to get more Asians involved. I don't know how exactly we go about doing that. I don't know whether clubs could be doing more to get into kind of more slightly insular Asian communities. I think the Asian community itself needs to do more to encourage kids to be more active and to seek careers in professional sport. I don't think this is all a one-way thing. I also think, though, comparing it to the cricket situation, is that football operates, each football club operates as an individual business. As I said earlier, county cricket clubs have a closed shop. If you're good enough in football, you will find a way through. You might not make it at Crystal Palace, but you can go down the road and try somewhere else at Charlton or.
But there's no Asian representation whatsoever. And the pushback for me, insofar as it's a pushback, is a question, is is the reason racism? Because I'm not sure that it is. I speak to a lot of Asian friends of mine that talk about the professions that they want their sons to go into rather than sport, and how they view certain careers more valuable than others because of their values in society and their outlook towards what a job is and what a job isn't. And when I hear the analysis that sport excludes and precludes because of race, I want to question that to make sure that is the case, not because I disagree with it, but to understand why people think it is. Because there is no representation in football, and football will take talent from anywhere.
Let's be honest, Simon, right? If you're an Asian parent and you've got a young son and you get a phone call from Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola who says, look, I reckon your son could be one of the best players on the planet, and he can go on and score loads of goals and win loads of trophies for our club and go on and represent England internationally and take us to a World Cup. Not even the most hard-nosed insular Asian family is going to stop their kid from doing that. I think there might be an issue where further down the line, in kind of youth level, kids potentially aren't getting the opportunities that they need to get. Yeah. I think there's an element of maybe still to this day that people think, various coaches might also think that Asian kids don't have the mentality or the physicality to hack it at the top level of football. I hope that those attitudes are changing, and that, over time, the British Asian community can have that at some point, have that breakout star.
Mark,
I don't think
we know. Sorry to interrupt you. We know you want to get back to the hearing. We're coming up to the 11:30 bulletin in about 30 seconds. Tell me, can you predict what you think your takeaway from today is going to be on what you've heard from Rafiq at the hearing?
I'm hoping that there's a lot of self-reflection in cricket today and tomorrow in the next few days. I also suspect, Jim, sadly, I think there's probably many more incidents across county cricket and possibly in other parts of the world that we're going to hear about in the next few days as well. So I think this might just be the beginning of the fire opposed to the end of it.
Mark, we want to thank you for your contribution, because you've been juggling with a variety of different chores there. You've been on live with us, which is no mean feat in itself, with all this going on around you, and you've been trying to keep across what's going on at the committee hearing. I want to thank you, Mark Machado, for your time this morning. Thanks for joining us.